Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Saturday night. It's been a busy, busy day. I got so much done today. It's one of those days where if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever been in the industry or in the business of building or creating anything or just physically doing something. Um, when you're kind of almost done, not the day you're done, but the day before you're done, when you know you just have finishing touches the next day and you got a ton of work done that day, there's a really good feeling at the end of the day. You have a big appetite, like you've really worked hard, and I got to that point today, and so I feel good, and I've been super productive all day. I set up NFL algorithm, started that for the year. I cleaned out a moldy basement and went through things from the 1970s today. I mean, I went through so much stuff. I'm making a couple of trips to the dump. That's the end of my project here, remediating essentially a family house. But point is that I got a ton of stuff done today. I feel good. I want to prepare baseball for tomorrow, which I already did because I'm super productive today. And we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some results today, as I believe there's a Yankees Boston game finishing up right now. We'll have to see how that's. Oh, the Yankees have taken a 5-3 lead. I have to update that. I haven't really done too much comparison with the Professor Sides picks today, but I think we were winning again, and that would be the third or fourth day in a row. If we have, um, listen, it's really difficult to beat the algorithm. It's extremely difficult to beat the algorithm because the algorithm is whatever the formulas are that everything is kind of settled upon as I have reverse engineered the logic of baseball over the last several years. And whenever I do something like this, it's usually the best in the world. There's a reason why, I mean, it's governments, it's private industry, it's a tremendous amount of people have asked me for assistance when it comes to organizing data over the last several decades. And I provide it to everyone when I can. And all I can say is people come up to me oftentimes and they say, in the workplace, they say, can you do your magic? Can you do your number magic with what we need? And I do the number magic. And the number magic is just simply how I understand numbers and I understand relationships, and something about the way that I understand them and the way that I communicate them in programming and Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets is the best in the world. It's if I can understand what I'm doing, I can explain it to you and there's logic to it. And if the logic is wrong, we just simply adjust it. So there's a reason why the algorithm beats Professor Sides and it beats every other person, every other human being. It's just the logic of how this works. And I'm sort of an autistic savant in that sense. I've been referred to as that by different people. And so all I can say is that I'll keep doing it, even though I'm not really a baseball fan. I'm not really interested in this. But I'll keep doing it every day and pounding it out because it doesn't really take that long. And how can you not provide the best predictions ever when you can provide the best predictions ever? That's kind of how I look at life. Is whenever anybody asks me for something, usually I just do it as fast as I can because I can. And that's just how I live life. So it doesn't really matter what it is. So today, the ninth, it's going okay. It's like 8-5 so far. There's some games going on, Dodgers game, Toronto game. I won a little bit of money on that wager that I did. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay blew a game late. They blew a 3-0 lead against Cincinnati in the 8th inning. That cost me, somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, like $80, I guess. That's why I like to wager low. Even though it cost me $80, I like wager $25 on the bet. So you tell me who's smart. We still win money here on this bet, but as I was doing work, as I was cleaning tax returns from the 1970s, I kid you not, and finding Playboys from the 1980s, like I was finding a bunch of really, really crazy old stuff as I was going through box by box, kind of the history of life over the last 50 years. As I was doing all that and listening to baseball games, I listened to Texas continually come back and win a game. Baltimore hold off another team. Barely got lucky and won the under in this Detroit White Sox game. Crushed the under in the Philadelphia St. Louis game. Whatever, we won some money in here today. And it was fun watching it while I was doing other work. And my advice to you is that when it comes to wagering, as soon as you care about what you are doing and you are emotionally invested and you are angry or you're upset if you lose, you are doing it wrong. This stuff will not work out every day, but using the algorithm, it will work out in the long run, meaning you make good decisions in the long run, you will make money, but it won't happen every day. And if you're wagering a lot of money and the amount of money that you're wagering, it means something to you, then I would say you're doing it wrong. Anything can happen in sports, as you can see today, for example. Today, Houston was minus 303 and lost. I didn't take them at all because the line was so awful. I just couldn't touch the game. They lost to Oakland 3-2, right? Totally something that shouldn't happen. Some people there's like mattress salesmen, right? In Houston, who bets millions of dollars on the Astros all the time. He probably bet a ton of money on this game today because they're a huge favorite. He probably lost a bunch of mattresses. I hope it doesn't mean anything to him, but like, this is still sport. This is still the reason they play the game. And so you're not going to win every day. So I choose to do it this way. I choose to do $25 because it's $25. It's not that big of a deal. So keep that in mind when you do this, but at the same time, use the knowledge, use the intelligence so that you can make the best picks possible, right? So it's looking like a positive day, but we'll see. Let's talk about tomorrow, because I know that's what you guys are here for in this video. So I already prepared tomorrow, the 10th. I brought in all the odds. I brought in all of the lineups, and these are expected. Everything's of course expected. And here's what we have. So it's good to check this out. We don't have a line on the Dodgers Cubs game tomorrow because the Dodgers Cubs game is still going tonight. And I don't know how long it's going to go. You've got your favorites here again. Houston is a little more reasonable now because they just lost at 3:30 yesterday, or 3:03 yesterday. Milwaukee's a little more reasonable now because they just lost to Pittsburgh yesterday. Atlanta did beat Washington 4-3, but they didn't cover. So whatever, minus 200 we have them here. More favorites, and here's some underdogs. Minnesota over Texas. We have Minnesota today as opposed to Texas, which we had today, who won. Philadelphia over St. Louis. I believe Philadelphia won today as well. Don't have a line on the Seattle Toronto game. This game is still going on. So you can see this is what it is for tomorrow. I've already posted this up in the Google Sheet for tomorrow. And when I wake up in the morning, because there are early games, I will post any confirmed lineups, but I will not be doing a video tomorrow because I'm physically finishing off actual work. So not too many people. No, actually, nobody paid me for baseball today, but I still did it. So that means I won't do a video tomorrow. We'll talk about how I'm going to continue to moderate this, because as much as I would like to provide everyone with the best baseball projections ever possible made, I also have a ton of other work to do, including genetic genome sequencing analysis, which I am really getting focused on right now. So I'm going to stop the baseball videos because I'm just not making enough money in baseball. If I sell one of these or 2 subscriptions a day, that's a lot. And it's just too much work for that. So I hope you understand that. And those of you who want, you understand, I'm counting down from a timeline. Basically, the last time someone purchased a 30-day subscription on baseball, I assume I can stop doing baseball 30 days from that day. And I know it's kind of weird for you to think about that because you're like, wait a minute, Ken, what you're doing here could generate hundreds of thousands of dollars if you properly apply all the logic and everything you create. Why don't you do that? Why don't you make a living off of betting on this? And the answer is, I have so many people contacting me every day for completely different things other than this, even though I don't do videos on them every day, that I just don't view this as all that important, even though I could probably make a living doing this, and I just choose not to. I like to predict all the games. I like to show that the logic creates something that is smarter than us, that the AI married with the statistics actually creates something that a lot of times our biases do not properly evaluate, and therefore the algorithm is smarter than us. I mean, the algorithm just smacks me around every day. Every time I try to disagree with the algorithm, you just, usually it beats me. And that happens with everybody. And I've kind of shown that against Professor Sides. I don't want to like rib on him because, I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but I mean, we crushed in the last 3 or 4 days. And it's like, we'll just keep doing that if I keep recording what's going on. At that point, I just get embarrassed. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're a statistics professor. I'm not, but I mean, I know what I do is the best in the world. I apologize for kicking everyone's ass. It is why the odds makers essentially create their lines based off what my algorithms do for every single sport as soon as I start publishing them, because they work. Now, to explain why all that happens is extremely complicated. I don't fully understand it, but I can tell you that you found the right channel, basically. Like, it's amazing to me that we get as few views as we get, because no one's doing anything better than us. So it's like, why? Why don't we have tens of thousands of people on here, doing that? I really don't entirely know the answer to that, but maybe one day we will. So point is here's the look for tomorrow. There will be no video tomorrow. There will be a lot of other work being done tomorrow. And if you want to see more baseball videos, then subscribe or send me money and tell me it's related to baseball, and I'll do more of them. Otherwise, I'm going to stop doing them completely, because I don't really care about baseball. My grandpa passed away a couple of years ago. I did this for him. Because we were spending time together and we were going over baseball. And I thought, well, if I can bet on baseball, and my grandpa cares about baseball, then I should do what I do and excel and make the best baseball picks possible. And we had a good time. I had videos with my grandpa before he passed away. I spent a lot of time with him at a point where he wasn't very mobile, and he needed to have himself stimulated. And we would go over this. I did this for him. I really don't care about baseball. I care about a lot of other things. So I will just take the lack of purchases and the lack of contributions to this as a sign that I should focus my talents on other things. All right. So good luck, everybody. Now I picks people in.